And welcome back. Well, most of us take water for granted, but in many places other than here around the world, there's a major scarcity of water. In fact, 1 in 3 people around the world will lack access to water in just the next 10 years if things don't change. Our next guests are on a mission to change just that. Paul Hicks is a Catholic Relief Services expert based in El Salvador, and Carl Holborn is a philanthropist and longtime supporter of the organization. Good morning to you guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Let's talk about Catholic Relief Services a little bit, and I'll start with you, Carl. Just in general, what is the relationship to it here in Milwaukee? Because you're Milwaukee-based.
Correct. I live here in Milwaukee. So Catholic Relief Services, or CRS, is a humanitarian organization of the American Catholic Church. And its mission is to help the world's most vulnerable human beings at their greatest time of need. So if there's a hurricane in the third world country, CRS is there. If there's water insecurity in a developing nation, CRS is there. If there's human conflict and there's victims from that human conflict, CRS is there. CRS operates in more than 100 countries.
Wow.
And every year helps more than 100 million people.
Yeah.
Amazing organization. There's a strong connection to CRS here in the Milwaukee area. Archbishop Listecki is on the board of directors for CRS. There's over 2,000 donors who regularly and faithfully contribute to CRS. And the Archdiocese of Milwaukee also has a parish ambassador program where the message of CRS is brought down to the parish level at a grassroots level so the members of the parish can learn more about CRS. So Milwaukee community, big supporters of CRS.
I love hearing that about our local community, and I think that that's something that everybody wants, is to be able to give back in a very meaningful way. You're in El Salvador, and that's where you work with CRS. What are some of the, I mean, Carl hit on a lot of the big global issues, but what are some of the other issues that you're seeing really affect, I guess, the world in our population that you guys are working to stop?
One of our mission is to help the poor wherever they are, and one of the first responses we do is disaster relief. So as Carl was saying, in the Bahamas, just after Hurricane Dorian, we're there with our staff on the ground, our experts, providing for basic needs: shelter, food, water. We work with farmers around the world to help them produce the food to provide for their families or an income. And then the work that I do is specifically around ensuring that people can manage their water effectively for drinking water, for irrigation, and for everything else we need water for.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned the water, because that's what we teased when we came into the segment. And I think that number, that statistic that people hear, it's that 1/3 of the global population is to be living in extreme water scarcity by 2030. So that's in just 10 years if things don't change. One of the things I was reading is that a lot of this is caused by drought. How much of this is that the major, I guess, movement in terms of the scarcity is the drought, and it's not contamination? Or what is the main issue?
So drought is happening more and more in the world, and more severely in many places. But primarily what it is a matter of managing the water that people have. So the rainfall, snowfall, whatever our sources of water, how do we manage that well? And that's what we work with communities to be able to do that. I was in a small community just outside the capital city of San Salvador, where 2 young girls at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday morning were collecting water from a small spring in their town, picking it up, putting it on their heads, and walking from that spring up into their house. So these girls should be in school, not collecting water on Tuesday morning. There's plenty of water around, but it's how do we collect that water? How do we make sure that people have it in their home so that they're able to survive and thrive?
So those are some of the things that you're doing with CRS, is creating these avenues to get the water to the villages?
We provide the technical expertise and financial support and work with the community so they're able to effectively manage their own water, and they can do that for the long term.
I love that. It's education, is the tools, it's creating the community survival that they need. You recently went to Iraq. Tell us a little bit about that trip. What were you doing there?
Sure. I went to Iraq in April to witness and view the work that CRS is doing to help people recover from the devastation of the ISIS invasion and occupation from 2014 to 2018. And the work that CRS is doing there is amazing, bringing hope to these people's lives. So I'm a big supporter of CRS because I think as human beings we have an obligation to care for the poorest of the poor in their most difficult situation. And from my perspective, no organization does that better than CRS.
What do you hear? I mean, when you're there, I mean, clearly you saw the need. What did you hear people say to you as you were doing this work? Because I think oftentimes it's those human interactions and the gratitude and the sense that you get from the people that really keep you coming back as a philanthropist or a supporter or donator.
People were incredibly desperate, but incredibly hopeful. And CRS is really developing that hope, allowing them to heal and restore their lives. It's an amazing thing that's being done there.
How can we all join in? I mean, is there a way that we can all be a part of CRS and help in the efforts that you guys are doing? How do we do that?
Sure. So there's a great website, crs.org.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful website that provides tons of information about CRS and also provides information about how you can donate. I hope you all can help.
That's great. I'm going to put that up so people have it. And I love the fact that Milwaukee is really working so hard to be a part of this effort. Again, you can make a donation at crs.org/connection or call the number on your screen, 877-HELP-CRS, to join in their global efforts with Catholic Relief Services. Thanks for joining us, both of you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you.